we'll start with e-voting. What is e-voting? There are different models that are floating around. There is a confusion after the board has decided to propagate e-voting in zones 4, 5 and 6A. In a nutshell, e-voting is a web-based voting menu which will be available to the club presidents at their own email, at their own convenience. They can cast their votes for the DGN elections and for the different elections like COL representative elections in zone 4, 5 and 6A and the director nominating committee elections. So at the outset, I will show you what exactly the email you will receive as a club president. This is the sample email which you will see. This will come from mail@digitalvoting.net. It will the subject will pertain to your district. This will contain your Rotary Club details. This email will be coming to your individual email address which you would be providing to Rotary or which you would have already provided to the Rotary database. So what will happen? This will provide you the details about the DGN elections. This will provide you the link which will take you to the voting website, which I'll show you later. It will contain your username. Username will be the email address which you have registered in Rotary database. This will have a system generated password for you, and it will give you in brief about the operational procedure of e-voting. So what does it say? E-voting in most cases will be live for 15 days, which means that from the date of the start of the e-voting till the date of its end, at your convenience, wherever you are in the world, you are not required to be physically present in your district or in your club. Since this is a web-based e-voting, you can log on to, you can go to the internet, click on the link, and do a web-based e-voting. So this will be ordinarily it will be open for 15 days. During this period of 15 days, at any time you can log in and cast your vote. So what do the general guidelines say? You have to select at least one candidate out of the different number of candidates. Unless you select the second preference vote, you will not be able to select the third preference vote. What it means is, let's say if there are 5 contestants in the election, you need to cast your preference for the candidates. Let's say for the first preference, you need to put mark 1 against that respective candidate's name, and similarly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can stop at 1, or you can mark 1, 2, 3, 1 or 2, 3, whatever you wish. But important point is each club can vote only one time. Before clicking on the final vote, you need to double check the candidates voted for before pressing the submit button. Once you have pressed the submit button, no change to the candidates selected is possible because this vote will be directed to the main database, and there can be no changes possible once you have clicked on the submit button. So now we go to this particular website and see a demo on what happens when you log on to the e-voting website. This is the website which you'll see for casting your vote online. So this will provide the dates. This is just the dummy data. So like I mentioned, most of the e-votings will be open for 15 days. This contains the information, the general background information about e-voting. What happens is at times the mail which I sent, which I just showed you, which contains the login credentials for e-voting, at times it may not get routed to your inbox because of the service provider that you're using, let's say Gmail or Yahoo or Rediff. They may land up in the junk folder or they may land up in the spam folder. So once the e-voting is activated, you may please see that if you do not find your email in the inbox, then please search for it in your junk folder or spam folder. Or alternatively, what you can do is, in case you have not received your district e-voting website link and your e-voting login credentials, kindly check your email junk spam folder and mark the email as not spam or junk. So please note, this is the email address, mail@digitalvoting.net. So as I mentioned, mail@digitalvoting.net. This is the email from which you will be receiving your login and credentials. So this is a landing page. The candidates would be listed in alphabetical order, and there would be these options. About online voting will provide the operational procedure, how to conduct the e-voting, what is the ballot system, what is the voting entitlement, how are the voting preferences calculated, and again, it's very important. This is a one-time submission, and voting is a one-time exercise. Once you submit the button for one or more preferences, it cannot be edited or redone under any circumstances. Therefore, please exercise utmost caution and due diligence while clicking on e-voting. And only authorized person, needless to say, only authorized person who has been provided the link should be voting and doing the login. So we have seen about online votings, the various candidates, their profile would be here. So these are the dummy candidates. This is their resume or the profile, a brief profile. So these are the two candidates, Mr. ABC and Mrs. XYZ. So these are the profiles in brief, and their detailed resume will be available for download. So this is how the PDF format of their resumes would be available. You can download it locally on your computer to access and see and make an informed decision as to what are the qualifications, whether they are best suited for the job that you are voting for. So this is the area for DGN candidates. These are the areas for the FAQs. Again, you need to go through them before doing anything else. How the ballot system, what is the ballot system, what is the voting entitlement, what are the voting preferences. Again, an emphasis on one-time submission, the information about e-voting website link and your e-voting login credentials. So these are the different FAQs that are available. Now we go on to the most important aspect. You need to, for checking the eligibility of the club, so you need to log in. The club president need to log in their username and the password, which will be emailed to them, and to vote. So again, to vote also we need to log in. So we log in as a club president to see how actually this system works. So I enter my username which I receive over the email from digitalvoting.net and the password, the system generated password. Please understand this has no link to your My Rotary. This is a standalone process linked just to your email address, the individual email address which is available in the RI database. We have requested all the governors to update the club president email address so that the club presidents receive the email without any difficulty and there are no issues about requests for duplicate voting credentials. So I have logged in to vote, but before that I'll just see my eligibility. This is a club, I have these many members and I am eligible to these many votes. There will be a single click, but all the eligible votes, let's say when you're clicking on the vote and once you have submitted, your vote will be recorded as 10 in our database because this is already fed in the backend system. So you are not required to cast 10 separate ballots. You only need to submit the ballots only once and the number of votes will be automatically available. So now I go to the most important area. I click on vote. These are the two candidates I have. So it will display their photographs and the biographies, as I mentioned earlier, are available. So I'm sure the club would be using it to decide on the most suitable candidate which they find is which they think would justify this job. In this case, we have two candidates. So we can say no second preference and we can just give one preference and no need to give any other preferences. Similarly, in case there are more than two candidates, let's say even if there are 3 or 4 or 5, the club has the option whether it wants to give preferences after 1, after 2, after 3. They want to give preference to all the candidates or they want to give a preference to one candidate or any number between the first and fifth. So for the vote preference 1, I click against the link. I've given Mr. ABC my preference, vote preference, and I've clicked on no second preference. If I want to give second preference, then this checkbox will automatically go. I again double check that I voted for the people I wanted to before clicking on this most essential button. that is the submit button. So I'm rechecking my preferences, good to go, and then I click on submit. This is your confirmation. You have successfully submitted your vote. That's it. Okay. So you can see how easy it is. This is just web-based. You can cast your vote anywhere in the world from any system which has an internet connection. You log on to your email, click on the link, voting link, which will be available to your email address, and that is it. So if you'll note, online e-voting enables voters to securely and easily cast their vote from any location and on any device with a stable internet connection. So you can do that on a desktop, on a laptop, on your iPad, on a tablet, or your smartphone as well. Internet voting enfranchises all voters, including remotely located voters, while ensuring privacy and results integrity. Please understand, this is a total automated process. Nobody knows whom you have voted for apart from you. Once you have clicked on the system, this goes securely into a database. If anybody tells you that we will come to know who are you voting for, or we know whom the person or a club has voted for, please understand it is not correct. It's a totally error-free process, totally automated process with no human intervention. It's a total automated process. Once you have clicked your preference, it will go directly to the voting database. Nobody will have any access. No RI office staff, no district representatives. Nobody will have access because this goes directly into the secure database. And the systems are and the results are generated automatically by this system immediately after the deadline of the e-voting. So let's say if our e-voting ends on 15th of December, so you will have time till 12 in the night to vote till 15th of December, and on 16th of December the system will automatically tabulate all the results, and these results will be shared with the district governors, who will then circulate it to all the clubs in the district. Again, I repeat, this is a totally automated process, no human intervention. Nobody will ever come to know, or nobody will come to know whom the club has voted for. So it's an absolute secret ballot in consonance with the policies of Rotary International. So please don't listen to anybody who says that or whom comes after you that we will come to know whom you have voted for, so you better vote for us. So please let them know that we know that this is an automated system and nobody will come to know. Once you have clicked on submitted button, like I mentioned, you will not be able to vote again. We will see on this. I'll log in again, and it will say that you have already voted, so you cannot do multiple votings. So since I have already voted, I'm sure we would have been able to log in again, but let me check what exactly is the issue here. So I will be able to log in again, but I will not be able to vote again. In this case, since it's a dummy profile, I'm not too sure if we will be able to submit it again. Let's see. You have already voted. So here it is. You have already voted. You can cast your vote only one time. So again, like I mentioned, it is very important to note that please click on the submit button after all your due diligence, and once you have voted, you cannot go and submit your vote again. You can log in, but you cannot submit your vote again. So this was the information about the e-voting process. So I'm sure you will understand now how simple it is, and we can take some questions now if there are any questions. So I will start with some of the questions that have already been posed. The dates of the elections will be determined by the district. They will provide that information to RI, and the e-voting will be deployed accordingly. There's a question on whether the PPT and the recording will be available. Yes, this will be available online. Any Rotarian, the link will be shared with everybody through the district governor and through our office newsletter. Any Rotarian can go on that online link and access this video recording and the PowerPoint presentation. Then there are concerns about how can I confirm that my online vote is properly casted and saved. I've already answered. This is a totally automated process. There were several elections that happened last year using this technology and they were totally error free. There was no issues at all in any of the elections that happened. So please be rest assured. Once you have clicked on a submit button, you will receive that automated confirmation that your vote has been casted, and you can be rest assured that it has been casted and there is absolute secrecy. And then there are some other questions. There's a question how to secure that club in total is for that vote, or is it a president driven? See, RI just says about the e-voting process. What happens in the club is an autonomous entity. What is the procedure for voting within the club that the club has to decide. RI is providing no guidelines as to how the club president has to vote. That is a totally internal club decision. So RI will not go into the actual club voting issues. There are a lot of questions coming up. Again, a very important question, can club authorize some other person in place of president? Again, it is an internal club matter, but as far as Rotary International is concerned, president being the chair of the board for that particular year, ideally it is the president who should be voting on behalf of the club, and the voting credentials will be provided, the details will be provided only to the club president. Now it is up to the president if he wants to keep that integrity of the data safe with him, or he wants to share that, and then there may be issues later on. What happens at the club level has to be decided independently by the club level. RI will not intervene in this matter because each club is an autonomous entity. A lot of questions on when the election is expected to be held or the probable date of election. Again, please understand, each district needs to determine when these elections will happen. We have already received information from a few districts and we are following up with the other districts as well. The district governor has already notified the voting dates for some of the districts. So there is no standard unified one date for elections all across India. It is depending on district to district. That flexibility has been given to the district governor to determine what is the best possible date with respect to the local and the regional considerations. There's a question, if club authorize other person, how to manage email change? Again, as I mentioned, we will send only one email to the club president, to nobody else. For us, it is the entitlement of the club president to vote, and then what happens to that email within the club, who votes using those credentials, etc., etc. It's all for the club to decide. There's a question, how do we ensure additional security other than user and net password? Well, since it is being sent to the individual email address of a club president, there is absolutely no need for having any additional security on username and password, because we believe that the club presidents are mature enough to use the data in a manner, in an integrity manner, and use that. And for any correction, any update about the email address of the club president, please contact your district governor. Before the voting, we will be asking for a consolidated details of all the club president's emails. If we are missing details in our database with respect to a club, we will be asking the district governor to contact the club and provide us the details. And we will have these consolidated details for all the club presidents in a particular district before the start of the e-voting. So getting the details about the club president email, etc., you need to contact your district officers. Voting entitlement will be based on the most recent club invoice. So let's say if elections are happening in December, the voting entitlement will be based on the July 2016 invoice which the club received. If the election is happening after the January invoices have been received by the clubs, then it will be the based on the entitlement, based on the January invoice. If the club has paid the January invoice before the start of the voting, if they have not paid, then it will be the July 16 figures that will be taken for voting entitlement. I again repeat, the video that of this webinar will be available for everybody. There will be a link will be shared. Whatever we are doing in this webinar, it will be available for everybody. Anybody can go online to that link and access this recording of the webinar. Now we are already approaching our end time. We'll take a few questions more. There is a question, is there any way by which a vote can get disqualified? There is no way, because you won't move ahead till you have submitted your first preference vote and clicked on the submit button. Until and unless a club president does not click on the submit button, the vote does not get recorded. So there is no chance of any error, but once the button has been clicked and the submit button has been done, so you cannot go back and that vote has been recorded. There can be no subsequent changes. So again I repeat, there are three major sets of elections. Zone 4 and 6A will have three sets of elections based on the regional considerations, if at all. One will be the district governor nominating DGND election. The other will be for 2019 COL representative election. The third will be the director nominating committee member election. This will be for zones 4 and 6A. For zone 5, it will only be the DGND election and the COL representative election. There will be no election for the RI Director Nominating Committee. There are some questions about IT auditor, etc., etc. So, as the data is available in database from where the candidate is declared as one, it is possible to know who has voted for whom? Yeah, it is. Since the data is kept in the backend server, in case it is required, that can be accessed, but we have different security levels to access that data, and it can be only accessed on a need to know basis, and there is absolutely no data breach or any information with respect to which club has voted for whom. So there is a question about preference voting. As I mentioned, preference voting means marking your choice of preference for the multiple candidates. You are giving a candidate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, based on your choice. You have the flexibility to mark more than one preference or just one preference. Let's say there are 5 candidates. One club is giving only the first preference vote to one particular candidate. The other club is marking his preference 1 and 2. The other club is marking his preference 1, 2, and 3. The other club is marking its preference as 1, 2, 3, 4. The other club is marking its preference as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this flexibility is available to the club, and this is how the preferential system of voting works. The mail, there is a question about when will the email about the club voting be sent to the club presidents. So this will be sent just before the e-voting is deployed. Since you will have ample time, you will have 15 days to cast your vote, so there should be no issue with that. And there will be multiple communication channels to inform the club presidents that the e-voting is now live, it has been deployed, and the governor will be sending that. Probably he may assign some district officers and the assistant governors to disseminate this information. From us, we will be sending the information to the district governor that it is now available. There's a question, do the candidate have to submit the candidature online, marking it to RI office also? No, see, there is no requirement of a club or an individual club president to contact us directly. For club president email address updates, they need to work with their district governor. For other information, the district governor will be submitting us the data with respect to who are the candidates, their biographies, their photographs, and one consolidated list of all the email addresses of the clubs which we will use. So there is no requirement of a direct interface between an individual or a club directly with our office. They need to work with their district governor. There's a question of complaints against forced voting. Well, this is an area which RI does not dwell upon. Again, as I mentioned, it is a club. It is left to the club as to determine whether how to do that e-voting. RI does not go into the internal club matters as to what is happening there. If there's a question about if a club president does not have email ID, obviously then he or she will not be able to participate in e-voting. So again, it is requested for the people who have not updated their email addresses on our RI database, or who do not have their email addresses, please provide it to the district governor. On our part, we have already shared the data with all the district governors about the missing club information record. So the district governors will be getting in touch with the respective clubs in the district. Or just to be doubly sure, you can communicate with your district governor or your assistant governor with respect to your email addresses. There's a question about, is there a preference, is there an option of no candidate preferred? There is no option of no candidate preferred. In that case, the club can abstain from voting, and obviously that will take care of. There's a question of, can we vote for multiple candidates? This I've mentioned very clearly. The preferential voting, it is a flexibility that is available to the clubs. They can mark their preference to one or more candidates. So I think that should be all. There is one important question. If we have two votes, can we vote two different candidates? I mentioned you will be able to click only if a club has 10 votes or 5 votes or 1 vote, it will be clicking only once. And all those votes will go to the candidate in the preference that vote has been submitted. That one click has been submitted. Based on the backend data, all those 10 votes or multiple votes will be automatically recorded. You cannot, for one vote, you cannot vote for one particular candidate and then you go on and vote again twice. It is just a one-time exercise that you have to take care of. There is a question, how will you control voting is done by the club president only if he shares his, I mentioned this is an area which we do not control. We will not be policing the club president or the clubs. That is a independent decision of the club. Club is an autonomous entity. What happens with respect to elections in the club level, that has to be determined as required best by the club themselves. All active clubs as on the date of the election will be eligible for voting, and voting entitlement I have already clearly stated. It will be based for elections before the January invoice are available. It will be based on the voting entitlement will be based on the number in the July invoice. After January invoice, it will be based on the comparison between the July invoice and the January invoice, in the sense if the club has not paid the January invoice by the time the election starts, it will be based on the July 16 invoice numbers. There's a question, how many days before the end voting lines open do we need to send document the candidate's name to RI? This is being coordinated with the district governors. All this information with respect to the operational procedure is already available with the district governors, and we are working with them one-on-one. And so this is an area where the club presidents or the participants may not be concerned directly. So that is an area where the RI e-voting administrators are working directly with the districts. There's a question that what happens if a candidate club president is forced to vote from Rotarian Shoaibul Chatterjee. I have again clearly mentioned multiple times what happens at the club level with respect to the voting. It is a matter, an autonomous matter of the club independently. RI does not get involved in these independent club matters. That is for the club president to decide, or the club to decide how to vote, whom to vote, when to vote, where to vote. Again, a question, if a club is chartered after July 16, is the club eligible for voting? All active clubs as on the date of the election, whether it is a new club, old club, chartered 2 days prior to that, all of those will be eligible to participate in the e-voting. There's a question, if there is no preferential voting, then it will be based on majority or higher number of votes. It will be preferential voting by default, since the probability of coming to a decision in a preferential voting is much higher. Otherwise, in other cases, it may lead to a tie vote or no candidate receiving a majority. So with this, I would like to end this session because we are already over time. And thank you very much for your patience. If you still have some questions, you can always email those to me directly, and we will be happy to answer those. And thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to be contacting and communicating with the Rotarians on these new initiatives. And I'm sure apart from the e-voting, the presentation on online tools would also be beneficial, because this is directly linked to the presidential citation. If you follow these online tools and the information, the clubs will become eligible to qualify for the presidential citation, and it will help them to come out with the laurels in this year. I am for the last time I'm repeating, the presentation link will be available online within the next few days, the PowerPoint as well, and this can be used and accessed by any individual, not only just the participants or the registrants of this webinar. Any individual, the link will be shared with the district governors, who can share it suitably within the district, or this will also be available in our office newsletter. Anybody can log on to that online link and access this presentation.